So I recently decided to join the MS Paint Game Jam on itch.io. I've done two other game jams in the past, making this my third, and the engine I used is Godot. I really like it. I have about a year of experience with it. Made a couple games, and I would really recommend it. So the whole concept with this game jam was that it was meant for people who can't draw. My game art's not that bad, but I still thought it would be a fun jam to join. My first idea was making like a voxel style game where you could break blocks, move them around, make things, but I couldn't really think of a goal or a way to really implement that well. So I ended up prototyping a game where you would fling a rope around and get your player character to walk across it and beat levels. But the movement didn't feel right for it, and I couldn't think of a way to make the game challenging but also fun at the same time. It never really evolved much more than what you see here on the screen. But then I had another idea. I'm sure you all know the game where you play as a snake, you move around, you eat apples, and you try not to die. Well, I thought that I could adapt what I had already made and create something new out of it. And that's how Snake Adventures was born. So the first thing I had to do to get started was make a little snake head I could add onto one of the ends. So I made his little head. I made him green, gave him a little red tongue like snakes have, gave him some big googly eyes. Took me about 11 hours, but it looked pretty good. Well, pretty bad, but in a good way. That's the goal after all. So the way my rope had worked was it was a bunch of rigid bodies connected by pin joints. So what I did for the snake was just removed gravity from all the rigid bodies. And then after that, I had another similar looking prototype working pretty soon. So I was ready to start coding and making levels. So I made my first level pretty quickly. It was just a collection of static bodies reshaped, and then I made a little hot dog for the goal. And to win, you just have to drag your snake into it. Then I set up a little home menu where you could press buttons that would instance the next level and add your little snake in there so that it was playable. Then I got to work adding sound effects. My first one was when you win. Then I had to make a little snake movement sound. So, well, I just made it snake moving. Because that's what they sound like when they move, probably. And then I took a unique approach to a snake dying. So, I made some music for the game, which just kind of was these tiny chords strung together in a little pattern, and to make it sound like weird and distorted to match the rest of the game. And then I made these little piano chords that play every once in a while. And then the drums are super offbeat and don't really sound right with the rest of the music. And then it would have sounded a little bit okay, but then the guitar part's just stupid. I just dragged my mouse across the keyboard. But I don't know, this game doesn't really deserve good music anyway, so it's fine. But anyway, back to the level design. So, I created some enemies, these little red snakes that kill you if you bump into them, and apples that also kill you if you bump into them, obviously. And then my favorite part, the boost pads that make you go super fast. But this game jam also had the added theme of conspiracy, which I came up with a cool idea for pretty fast. But before I could do anything, I had to create a cool looking final level, which for that I used this color inversion shader that I think gave it a nice little atmosphere. And then I used an animation player node to set up a final cutscene. Then I exported my game to HTML5 so you could play it on mobile and desktop in your browser, and then made this nice little itch.io page. So that's about all I have to say. I hope you liked the video. I'll be making more devlogs soon. Also, you might be wondering what the conspiracy really was. Well, you'll have to play the game and find out.